was really, really unfortunate. Arjun, why does everyone say you're a narcissist? I really hope that not everybody says that. That seems a little, I don't know. I feel like lately, a couple of my videos, people have turned on me for some reason. I'm not sure, but um, look, I mean, try to be consistent all the time, and I'll give you a behind the scenes look at what goes on in a car dealership. And I think especially if I'm holding my team accountable, people don't like that. So I don't know, which is unfortunate, but hey, I mean, I was held accountable when I was young in the business, and I believe that my team should be held accountable as well. So, but Arjun, I appreciate that. I really do. Thank you. Left Lane Legend, I love the way you handle business. I appreciate that. Thank you. Um, Natalie, you are hilarious. I don't know if that's a compliment or you're saying that in a bad way, but I'm going to take it as a compliment. So thank you. Colleen, haters going to hate. I enjoy you and your videos immensely. Colleen, thank you. I appreciate that. That means a lot. So, did they ever find the key? Of course. Yes. Of course. The key. So that video, I hate to admit this, and I don't really edit my videos anymore. I have editors that do that, but they understand that you come in to the middle of a conversation in a video and it's got a little spice to it that people are more likely to watch it. So a little of the context was lost in that key conversation, but in car dealerships, keys get misplaced pretty frequently. And they almost always turn up, right? My point in that video was that the key is definitely here. Have you looked for it, right? So love tuning in from the UK. Keep it up. Awesome. I love that. Thank you for tuning in from the UK. That's truly awesome. Let's see. Tara Coolish says you don't answer her calls. That's funny. I don't really. All dealer trades need to be done via email for me. So yes, that is probably true, but tell Tara I say hello. She's awesome. Done a lot of dealer trades with her. And yeah, I mean, I feel like I've known her forever. So love your videos. Do you ever show outcomes? Jocelyn, that's a great question. It's not that I don't want to show you outcomes. It's just that there's really no easy way for me to do that, because I'll give you a little peek behind the scenes of what happens when I am filming. Is that a salesperson walks into my office, I hit record, and we just start filming the conversation. Okay. And it's rare that conversation is, obviously if they're in here talking to me, then they have to go back and present numbers to a client or finish the conversation with the client. And if they come back later in that day, or maybe even the next day, and that's when the deal gets closed, that conversation might be taking place at a later date. And then when those videos get kind of rewatched by the editing team, it's really hard to match them up together. There's no efficient way of doing that. So I understand the frustration in the sense that a lot of the videos don't have like a resolution to them. There just isn't an efficient way for this style of content to have that, right? Whereas somebody like a George Saliba is filming like the entirety of his interactions at the dealership. Mine is meant to be more like behind the scenes. So think of it this way, like there's watching the movie and then there's watching how the movie was made, right? This is like watching how the movie was made. So let's see. Love your content, brother. Just came across it recently. Dylan, awesome. I appreciate that. Thank you for the kind words. I really do. It means a lot to me. And yeah, thank you to everybody. Yes. Does it have cats? Yeah. So it's funny to me. I've joked about this with George many times before, that like he has to ask that question, and so many cars that get traded into him don't have cats, which is why he's always got to be asking that. Like the prospect, like cars do not come to us catless. It doesn't really happen. I don't know if people just know not to bring them here for an appraisal or what, but we just don't really have that. Arube is making sales calls while watching this. Awesome, my friend. Thank you for watching. Andy, what your explanation of lease versus buyer great? What's the best entry level MB for someone new to MB? Andy, I appreciate that. The best entry level cars. Our entry level cars are CLA, GLA, GLB, C class, and you could argue maybe GLC a little bit as well. Benjamin, BM, are you excited for the VLE? Yes, you have no idea how excited I am for that. A minivan. I have been wanting a true luxury minivan since I've been with the brand. I feel like people would buy that. I feel like there are a lot of people that understand that minivans, like I understand this, but I have currently would never have considered a minivan. Like they are practical in a way that even many SUVs are not. But most people aren't willing to drive one. But yeah, I think that once Mercedes-Benz has an actual minivan, not the Metris, the Metris is a commercial vehicle. I think that's going to be really awesome. Jeff, great content. Doug, so professional. Jeff, I appreciate that. Thanks so much. Brad, you have some of the best looking cars that I've seen on the internet. I love that. Thank you, Brad. Dan, COVID lease cars. What should I be worried about trading one in? If you leased a car during COVID, then good news. You leased it, right? So it shouldn't be an issue. Armando, what is the Benz replacement for EQB SUV? That's what I want. Well, the EQB in theory should continue. I don't know if it will, but right now, next year, we'll have probably more information on what is going to go on with EVs and replacements. Brad is another Brad. Yes, another Brad. Have I worked for any other brands? Yes, I worked for Porsche for about 6 months in between moving from Columbus, Ohio, back here to Cleveland, Ohio. So Porsche gave me my first opportunity to be a sales manager in this industry. So I am very appreciative to that brand, and I love that brand very much. And then my first 2.5 months in the business, believe it or not, were with Ford, right? So I worked for a Ford store for 2.5 months right out of college. That's kind of how I got the itch to continue, right, so to speak. I got the bug, if you will. But I quickly knew that I wanted to work for a luxury brand. And when I thought of luxury brand, I thought Mercedes-Benz. That's the pinnacle. So why I thought that, I don't know. I just have kind of always looked at Mercedes-Benz as like the luxury car. So those are the dealership that I reached out to. Maz, what would I have to do to become a salesperson at Mercedes-Benz North Homestead? Maz, just apply. We have listed. We have job postings on Indeed, and we are hiring. So we're looking for good salespeople. You don't have to have car sales experience, right? We look for good people, good personalities, willing to get in front of people, willing to pick up the phone and make phone calls. And yeah, I mean, it's we are hiring. We're looking to grow our sales team. We do not have enough salespeople to manage our book of business and to handle all the leads that are coming in. So we need to grow. What happens to G580s that sit without being sold? Well, G580s aren't really around anymore, but they will be producing them in lower numbers, and G580s are awesome. So I think that car's going to do very well in the future. Yeah. Nicholas, the V-Class is finally coming to the USA, which I'm very pleased about. So the new generation V-Class, I don't know if it'll be next year or the year after, but we are going to get the V-Class. We'll get the VLE and the VLS. The VLE will be kind of the mainstream passenger minivan, and then the VLS will be something more upscale. Think of kind of like a Maybach S-Class type van for chauffeuring. I'm on board for both. I'm very excited. Hello, what car do you drive? You sell a lot of electric vehicles. We did sell a lot of electric vehicles, but right now production is essentially paused on those. So I was driving an EQS SUV for a long time, and now we're out of them. So I'm driving a GLE 580 right now. How do y'all feel about the bottom of Consumer Reports? Laura, I was not aware of that. I don't really pay too much attention to that because those are all surveys. And I think that surveys in general are, when was somebody surveyed and how were the questions asked? I don't know. I'd have to look into it, but I don't put too much stock into that. I think your G-Wagon AMG program is fair and on point. Falcon, I appreciate that. Yeah, I mean, it's, this is always such a point of contention for people. And I admit there is no perfect solution for this, but this is not uncommon to other industries, other brands. I mean, some people in the comments have pointed out Rolex and Hermes, and there are, when you have a product that exists in a marketplace, especially a luxury product, where demand is just in far excess of supply, something's got to give, right? You've got to come up with some kind of system to figure out how to manage that. And what people don't understand is that, like, I really do get multiple people a day that reach out to me wanting a G63, like every day, multiple. Okay. If I were to take every request I got and fulfill it, and I had been doing that since 2018 when the G-Wagon got redesigned, I truly would have probably a 30-year wait list, which means that anybody that was talking to me today about a G, and let's assume every other dealer was doing this, it'd be the same issue. If so, then anybody reaching out to me today would be literally so many years late to the party that they actually would never get one, right? Unless suddenly the car became totally undesirable and nobody wanted to keep their spot in the wait list. So the only choice is that dealers either sell them for way above MSRP, or you come up with a way to reward loyalty and have a system. And that's what we've chosen to do. No caller ID. Yes, the key was found. Of course, right? I should pin that. Do you get pushback from MB over your business model of honesty and transparency regarding trade values? And no, we haven't. I would hope that we wouldn't. That would be surprising to get pushback on that. I agree with your approach. On average, how much do you typically lose buying a G550 at MSRP and then trading it back at market price for G63? That's a good question. Literally, it totally depends on the build, how long you keep it, how many miles you drive. So there's no way to answer that question, really. I mean, it could be, I don't know, 10 to 20 grand probably on average, 5 to 15. It just depends on the build. I have a Geely 450 cylinder manufacturer warranty will cover the trunk lid tail light that's out. It should, assuming it wasn't damaged, then yeah. Kevin, thank you for my 580 order out today. Kevin, yes, Kevin, thank you. I was just working on that with Matt just a few moments ago. Thank you for giving us the opportunity to work with you. So Kevin on YouTube called in today or sent in a lead today from a few states away and wanted to custom build a GLE. And I hope that we made it super easy for you to do that. Do cars go on discount? Yeah, of course. Absolutely. Opinion on upgrading from a C300 to a C43? I mean, why not, right? If you want more power, absolutely go for it. How long did it take you to get into management? That took me about 5 years. It took me about 5 years to get into management. And I probably could have done it a lot faster if I had woken up and really approached the business the right way from an earlier age. But, you know, I was still young. I was a few years out of college, and I didn't really understand what I truly needed to do to be long-term successful. But luckily for me, fortunately for me, I had a really good team of people around me that took an interest in me and made sure that I got everything figured out, right? So, and I'm glad that I stuck with it, because this is an up and down business. It's tough. Are you happy? You seem serious all the time. Yes, of course, I'm extremely happy. In fact, I'm actually quite goofy. You don't really see that on camera. But yeah, I mean, you know, I have a serious job, right? I'm helping my sales team to sell cars, and we're managing a lot of people and a big book of business. And so, yeah, I take my work very seriously. But no, I'm very happy. I like to have a lot of fun, just not a lot of that. I try not to be overly goofy on camera, if that makes sense. So what would be a good percentage to negotiate off a $35,000 car? Well, is it a new car? Is it a used car? What brand is it? I mean, that's actually kind of an impossible question to answer. This is my happy face. Yeah, exactly. Why did they get rid of emerald green from the? Yeah, emerald green was an amazing color. I'm really sad to see it go, Dave. I mean, I hope they would bring it back at some point. Colors like that, outside of the mainstays, they just like to change up the color palette every few years. They like to keep it fresh, and green is not a high take rate color in general. So unfortunately, they just probably decided that they needed to make a change there. Let's see differences between Geely and Geely Coupe. Notice the coupes are way more money. Yeah, the coupe is just basically a low roof line in the back. I mean, it has that coupe-like body style look to it. Otherwise, you know, in the front seats looking forward, the cars really are identical. It's just a different shape and exclusivity. Really, you're paying for exclusivity, significantly lower production numbers, and it's something that not everybody else has, and people pay more for things that not everybody else has, right? That's just kind of the way it goes. Thank you for everyone who's here, by the way. Thank you for everyone that watches the videos and comments and shares and engages and all of that. I really do appreciate it. If everyone could, you know, hit the screen, tap the like button, hit the thumbs up button, that helps to share this out with more people. And I'm incredibly appreciative. The hearts, the thumbs ups, the likes, all of that good stuff. Thank you so much. Susan, go Bucks. That's right. Does Mercedes give free 3-year 36 maintenance like BMW does? So Happy Hippo, we have historically not had free maintenance like BMW, but we actually do have free maintenance right now on several of our models. Our entry-level cars, so CLA, GLA, GLB, and C-Class, all variants, including AMGs, have 3 years of free maintenance. Our service intervals are 10,000 miles a year, so or 10,000 or once a year, so it would be 3 years or 30,000 mile maintenance package, complimentary for those videos. So that's new. They rolled that out last month. We still have it. So whether that will stay or not, I don't know. But hey, pretty cool. Happy Abo, I watch your videos. Very entertaining and learning about Mercedes. Good job. Thank you. I appreciate that. Thank you for the kind words. When is the V8 twin turbos coming back? We still have them. Eric Doug, class of 2010, OSU North Olmsted grad. Nice. I graduated in 2010 as well, Eric. That's awesome. Who is in the picture behind you? That is just a picture by Slim Aarons. He's a photographer that hung out with rich people in California and Florida and just photographed them living their lives. So does Mercedes still make a station wagon? Yes, we have the E-Class wagon. It's very awesome. How much fun is it for a customer to order a car in a personal pool spec? I think it's very fun, right? If you want to build your own car, by all means. So, and just to be clear, and this is true of a lot of brands, not all of them, but certainly for Mercedes-Benz, I really don't love the term ordering because yes, in a way you're ordering a car, but really cars are allocated to dealerships based on historical sales mostly, which means that whether you build it or I build it, it's coming here anyway. So you're not necessarily ordering something, you're just kind of taking a future car that we will receive and customizing it the way that you want it to be. All right. My lease on my BMW X3 is ending soon. What is similar to that on the Mercedes side? So the GLC would be the direct competitor to the X3. How would you say the right way to approach the business is asking as a young salesman? Sonny, it is a people business, okay? That is something I wish I had learned much sooner. So you need to take good care of people, connect with them, really get to know them, and make sure that you take a genuine interest in them and their families, okay? That is how you're going to be successful in the long term, and talk to as many people as you possibly can, right? That is hugely important. That a Charles Tyrite shirt? Yes, it is. That's a little creepy and impressive all at the same time, but yes, it is. Thoughts on owning hybrid cars? Let's see. For a long and the potential, I think hybrid cars are going to be a safe long-term vehicle to have. I got a question with OEM contracts with manufacturers. I'm not really sure I understand the question. Do you know about the C43 AMG R Edition? I do not. AMG R Edition, I do not know what that is. Somebody playing some music in here somewhere? Sounds very nice. I love Benzo Botas. I just got a C300 2025. I love it. Congratulations, Elliot. That's awesome. Can you get me a low mileage S65? That would be a tall task. I'm sure there's a few out there, but it could be done. Derek has a 2018 Toyota Land Cruiser. What should I get into at Merck? Land Cruiser, those are awesome. Hold their value extremely well. You might like a GLS. You might like a GLE. You need to work with Tommy from Delivered. I work with Tommy all the time, actually. In fact, we just worked with him on a deal last week. Local client that came and got a GLE coupe from us. Coop, thank you for the follow. I appreciate that. To anybody that is not already following, I would love and appreciate a follow, and I am sincerely appreciative and thank you for all the thumbs up and the hearts and all the taps and the likes and all that good stuff. So thank you. Are the MB station wagons popular? I mean, relatively speaking, they're much more popular in Europe than they are here in the States, but they are they're kind of like if you know type of car. Americans are really all about SUVs these days, but wagons are hot. Wagons are hot, right, Colin? Wagons are hot. Colin's been a little bit pop-out fish the last couple of days. We gotta fix that. We gotta fix it. Ever work with Benzel-Busch and Englewood? Yeah, I do dealer trades with them all the time. I do dealer trades with Benzel-Busch all the time. Nice people over there. What years do you recommend for the S classes? Wanted one for years and look at a 2015 and newer. Well, yeah, 2014 was that generation of S class. So really 2014 and newer, 2015 and newer, good years to go for sure. Still mad about that tips situation. I'm not sure what that is. Okay. What do you do for fun? I like to play golf, hang out with my kids, my wife, my family. I've got a lot of family in the area. Just, I also I don't know. I'm just always trying to stay busy. Always trying to be. I really enjoy watching professional sports, so I do a lot of that. Can we get a shout out for Mercedes-Benz Country Hills? Yeah. Do you work there, or are we just shouting out Jeremy and the team there for their Batty and Benz content, which has been fantastic, very fun. They're doing a great job up there. They're doing a great job up there. Um, in Crocker Park, going to come check out a GLE 453. Awesome, awesome, awesome. Wow, it's already 6:56. Okay. Lance, yes, you do. Oh, is that Lance? Okay, what's up, Lance? Yeah, Mercedes-Benz Country Hills. They are doing big things up there. You guys are doing awesome. I've spoken with Shy before, and maybe at some point down the road we can do something fun together. Who knows? We'll see. But yeah, Batty and a Benz, awesome stuff. A nice 4x4 squared would cheer Colin up. Yeah, I'm sure it would. Love Tommy too. I used to be a moderator for him when he first started out. I love watching his negotiating videos. It helps bring confidence when I buy cars. Yeah, there you go. That's awesome. Moderated for Tommy. That's big time. Do you think Tommy will change the way we buy cars going forward? I mean, I think that he's doing everything he can, as am I. I mean, Tommy and I actually are very aligned in what our ultimate goal is. I mean, my ultimate goal since I got in the car, like when I started in the car business, was all about proving to people that it can be fun and easy to buy a car and it can be transparent. And now with the social media, I'm doing that kind of on a bigger stage, which is trying to say that there are dealers out there. They can make it easy, they can make it fun, they can make it transparent. And that's what we do. And I hope that by doing that, I'll encourage more dealers to do business that way as well. And I know, Tommy, ultimately, when you're calling dealerships and you're highlighting the way many of them operate, it hopefully points out to people that, look, that is not a good experience, right? When you see something like that, when they're making it unnecessarily difficult, that is what you want to avoid, right? And if we stop rewarding them, Caroline says, hi, what's up? Caroline Calvello, the Mercedes-Benz of Manhattan dealer trade specialist. That's awesome. Tell Caroline I say hello as well. I've also known her. I think she's been doing dealer trades for as long as I've been here anyway, and I got here in 2016. So I've known Caroline for a long time. But anyway, yeah, buying a car doesn't have to be a pain. It really doesn't. But I think a lot of people get in their own way in the sense that they reward dealers that make it difficult, and then those dealers have no reason to stop. No, bouncing. I just want to be clear. This is not a topic that I bring up a lot, but it's okay for somebody to want to go and do something different because they don't want to, operate under a certain set of guidelines, right? I mean, look, it's no more basic than this. If you own your own business, you can do whatever you want, right? But if you work for another business, there are certain guidelines that you have to follow, right? Like you can't show up to work drunk, for example, right? I mean, I'm sure most places of work don't allow that. And if you're like, well, I'm just not willing to not show up that way, then guess what? They're gonna be like, well, I don't know what to tell you, but that's a rule here, right? So people can choose whether or not they want to work under those conditions, right? And sometimes people are like, all right, I'm just not going to do that. That's really all it is. As a GSM, do you go to the auction? I don't go to a physical auction, but I do attend to online auctions. So Olmsted, what? OHIO, Lumberjack. Are you talking about the Cleveland Lumberjacks? That would be hilarious. That is like old school. Mercedes engines US made by Renault. I don't know. They're not. They are not. Okay. All right. So I've got to hop off for the evening. I do appreciate everybody being here. Thank you to everybody that is a new follower tonight. Thank you for everybody that hit the like button and the thumbs up button and the heart button. I love that. Brandon, yo, Mr. Bowties, what's going on? And I just really appreciate all the support. I know that not everybody's a fan of the content, and I respect that. But thank you to all of you that are, and thank you to all of you that show up and engage and comment and say hello and all that good stuff. So I appreciate you all very much. Have a fantastic evening and hope to see you all tomorrow.